Alright, this is going to be a quick video, midweek video. It's, at the moment at least, illegal to show the pictures of the Mercedes cars, so sadly still can't show their systems, although apparently Giorgio Piola's done an in-depth cutaway, so I'd love to have that in the video. Sadly can't. Anyways, today, as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about Mercedes at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we're not going to be talking anything about the tires. That's another video for another day. No matter, let's talk about Baku and Mercedes. You know, obviously they didn't acclimate well to this track, but it was confusing because as I said in the Baku Grand Prix review video, we have not seen a Mercedes outside of the top 10 in, practice in a really long time, almost 20 years. So I think everybody was a bit confused where their pace had just evaporated off to after an okay Monaco weekend. Sure, they didn't have the best of Monaco races, but it wasn't the worst either, and they could still take some positives away from it. They learned stuff from it, as you do from any race. And yet this week there was absolutely no positives. Not only did they not score a point at all, they are now embroiled in a controversy that could see them under intense media scrutiny. I'm going to talk about both of the systems that I think are illegal on their car, and I'm going to talk about Red Bull's FlexiWing today. So today is going to be sort of a tech roundup. Anyways, first thing to talk about is at the race, their brake problem with Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton left on what he called the magic. The magic, as we now know, is a braking system that heats up the brakes for safety car restarts. And by heating up the brakes, they heat up the tires. This is a new way that they are using DAS. Anthony Davidson, as a Mercedes sim racing driver, couldn't say anything about it on the broadcast, but Ted Kravitz revealed that is how they're heating up their tires. He's been studying this for a little while, and he's figured out what it's for. Obviously, it's not illegal yet, but depending on how they do it, it could be. I have a couple of theories about how they're doing it, and one of them is I believe they could be pumping heat directly from the brake pads, essentially making them very, very strong, not strong, but, pumping heat through the brakes, through the brake pads by simply braking harder. That's one way, but that would cause brake fade, and I don't think it's that. Another one I thought about was, could they be heating it with electro coils? What happens if they're running electric wire through the suspension struts and using that to heat the brakes? Possibility? Maybe. We'll see. Mercedes has tried to keep this very quiet over the last few days. It's been obviously a controversial thing. And Hamilton, when he tweeted about it after the race, said that it was a brake problem and the brakes didn't turn on. That is clearly wrong because he locked his brakes up. He's lied about it now. I think it's something that Mercedes wants to keep secret, and I think it's something illegal. Obviously, this video isn't going to be able to gain enough traction, for it to be the thing that pushes this issue forward, but I want this issue to be pushed forward because I think there's something illegal going on with that car, and I think it should be stopped if it is illegal. If it isn't illegal, then every other team should copy it, because that's how F1 works. But until then, I want definitive evidence that they are or they're not cheating, and until then, I want an investigation. I think it's not cool that, Lewis Hamilton's race was ruined today, but it was because of a Mercedes system, and it was completely avoidable from their standpoint. I mean, I don't think that's a necessary system, and I think if he had just left it off, he probably would have been fine. But I think that could be what boiled the brake fluid in the race, and the second restart of that race. And if that's what did it, then maybe it was just a fact of the system had nothing to do with it. Magic brakes had nothing to do with it. It was the fact that the brake fluid was so boiled already that it was incapable of stopping that car. Another possibility. The fact that Lewis slowed down in that area for a little while and dropped down to 15th explains that the brakes were really hot, and my brake fluid thing that I said on Sunday was correct, which is exciting to see because I always like to be right about things like this. Let's talk about wings now. We've got some interesting things to discuss about the front and rear wings of these cars, so let's get into it. Well, be careful what you wish for, Christian Horner says, because he thinks there's going to be an investigation into the front wings of Mercedes. Now that there's going to be a ban on the rear wing flexi wings that Red Bull has done, even though they've done nothing wrong and they've passed all the tests, the FIA is going to try to ban them. And here's what the FIA doesn't understand. Red Bull is using layered carbon fiber in such a way that when they put the weight on it that the FIA puts on, it will not bend past the template. It will be fine. Do you know why? Because of the way the carbon fiber is placed. So no matter how they test it, just like in 2011, they will always get away with it. They will always be 3 steps ahead of the FIA, and they cannot stop it. They need to just give up. Have a day off on this whole flexi wing thing. It's not that bad. Anyways, about the flexi wings though, Mercedes seems to have poorly done their flexi front wing because it does seem to be out of the feasible regulations in the areas that it's allowed to be. The interesting thing about that is if it is illegal, then what I want to see is going to be the fallout from that, because Toto Wolff will be mega pissed that they A, noticed it, but B, probably will get it banned. And that'll be then 2 pieces of Mercedes tech banned if indeed they do end up banning magic brakes, which I really hope they do. No matter. Let's continue on about the Red Bull rear wings. I think that other teams will be sort of reined in with their rear wing concepts, but Red Bull will literally have no problem keeping with this amount of flex. Heck, they might even be able to get more flex out of the rear wing and be fine with it. So, you know, I think they're in no trouble at all. Now, talking about other things, talking about other teams with the flex wings, let's go back to the Mercedes flexi front wing. I know that Red Bull, until, 2013, I think, had a flexible front wing, and it was always passing the tests. And as far as I know right now, they have a semi-flexible front wing. And I'm not sure which is better. I haven't been able to fully examine it because, as you can imagine, the onboard footage from the nose camera is highly guarded. Even though it's out there, it's highly guarded. And I don't think I'll be able to get it by the time I release this video, so if you're watching just footage right now, that is the exact reason why. But I think Red Bull will probably also end up getting away with it, the front wing at least, because in the past they've been able to make a front wing that's, completely compliant and yet is more flexy than what's compliant on the straightaways, and that is legal, so I think they're fine. I think Red Bull's gonna keep getting away with the flex. I think Mercedes could end up having their flexi front wing banned, and if it turns out they have a flexi rear wing, well then they're really, really buggered, because in that case, that'll be 3 pieces of Mercedes tech banned, and 4 in 2 years if you count the DAS. That's just my 2 cents on this topic. I think, it's problematic, and I don't like to see that Mercedes is in the place that they are. Then again, with all of these technical innovations, it's about what the FIA, the governing body, doesn't see. So, who knows? We'll see whether anything happens with the brakes, but we'll definitely keep up on that story with those flexi wings. That's important, and those are going to be banned by France, apparently, even though Red Bull's going to get away scot-free. Anyways, if you did enjoy, consider liking and subscribing. Short midweek video. Hope you liked it. Thank you. Goodbye.